we are going to learn about our topic number 21, registered storage specifier. So let's move on. So in the previous video, we have talked about the auto storage specifier, we have talked about the static storage specifier, we have talked and learned about the external storage specifier, and in this video, we are going to learn about register storage specifier. So, as the register is also a type of storage specifier, so let's look at the categories of it. So, here you are seeing that storage specifier has been classified into 4 categories, and that is auto, that is static, that is external, and that is register. So, in the previous video, we have talked about the auto, static, and external. Now we are going to learn about the register, which is our last storage specifier, and this is very important also. So let's look at the register and its working mechanism. So let's look at register. So here we can say that the register storage specifier can only be used with the local variables. Okay? And that is the important point of the register. That the registered storage specifier can only be used with the local variable. If we compare with the auto global, we can say. If we compare with the auto local, we can say that auto static and external. If we compare from these all, then we have learned in the auto that it can be used with the local variable. Auto storage specifier can be used with the local variable. And we have studied about the static storage specifier is that static storage specifier is going to allocate its memory onto the global region, and it can be used only and we can say it can be used with the global as well as local variable. Now after that, if we compare with the external, then we have studied that the external is going to be used with the global variable only, and that is what the importance of the external. Now here in this register storage specifier, we can use only with the local variable. So the register storage specifier can only be used with the local variable. That is so important point. And the next point is saying us that when registered storage specifier is used with the local variable, it stores the value directly into the CPU register rather than the main memory. So this is the main difference we can say between the auto static, external and register. So when registered storage specifier is used with the local variables, it stores values directly into the CPU register. Okay. But when we look at the we can say when we look at the static storage specifier, then it allocates its memory into the global region. Okay. But here in this case, we can say that here in the registered storage specifier case, when we are using the registered storage specifier, then that is the local value, it stores value directly into the CPU register rather than the main memory. So what we have learned here is that the registered storage specifier can only be used with the local variable, and this is our first point and so important point, that the registered storage specifier can only be used with the local variable. And the next point is saying is that when registered storage specifier is used with the local variable, when we are using it with the local variable, because it can only be used with the local variable, then it stores values directly into the CPU register, okay, rather than the main memory. So this is what about the register. So this is we can say register can only be used with the local variable, and it can store value directly into the CPU register rather than any main memory. So let's look at the examples of it and how we are just going to work on it. So here you are seeing an example which is elaborating us about the register and its working. So here you are seeing that we have uses the hashtag include studio.h and hashtag include connew.h, which is our header file. And this is a header file, therefore we must need, and there is a need to declare in the C programming, because studio.h contain printf function, which is an inbuilt function in the studio.h, and several commands also in the studio.h. Therefore, this header file must be declared here in the C program. After that, I have declared register int G1 and G2. And we have learned here is that what we have learned that the registered storage specifier can only be used with the local variable, and we know about the local variable that it should be within the double quote, that it should be within the open and close curly braces. We have studied about the local variable is that it should be within open and close curly braces. Therefore, the registered storage specifier can be only be within open and close curly braces. So this is so simple. Here you are seeing with an example here is that we have used the registered storage specifier, but it is not allowed here. Why? Because G1 and G2 is behaving like an what? Global variable, because it is outside of this curly open and close curly braces. Therefore, we are not allowed to use register here, because register can only be used with the local variable, and therefore it is allowed here. Then what kind of storage specifier is allowed here? Then we will see, we will say that static kind of storage specifier can be allowed here, but not register, and therefore this is not allowed. What this is allowed? Because it's within this open and close curly braces, because register can only be used with the local variable. Therefore it is allowed here and it is not allowed here. So after that I have used the CLR function whose work is to clear the screen. Then I have used the printf function whose work is to display whatever is within this double quotes. So therefore I1 value is going to be transferred here and I2 value is going to be transferred here with this format specified. After that, when anyone press a key, then this main function will terminate. So this is about the register, and we can say we can differentiate and what is allowed in the register and what is not allowed. We can make a difference between them. So let's look at the properties of possessed by the register. So the properties possessed by the register, we are going to learn about these things. So let's look at. So we have talked about the lifespan or the life period of local variable, that is within the open and close curly braces, and because the register is going to use with the local variable, therefore the register variable are created with its own opening curly braces and dies with its own closed curly braces, and this is the what we have learned in the local variables. And because the register is using that the properties of the local variables, therefore whatever the properties of the local variables, that will be the property of register, because register can only be used with the local variable, and this is so important point. After that, the register variables are created directly on the CPU register rather than memory. This is what we have studied, that it can be stored directly on the CPU register rather than memory. So this is what we have studied in the register. Hence, it can be accessed within its opening and close curly braces. So this is the lifespan, or we can say life period of a register. Now, the next property of the register, that is the default initialized value. So if we not initialize at the time of declaration or definition, it is automatically initialized by the value garbage by the compiler. So this is the most important point, that if we not initialize any value at the time of declaration or we can say definition, then the C compiler automatically generates the garbage value there. Therefore, the default initialized value is garbage value by the compiler for the register if we not initialize any value at the time of declaration. So let's move on the next point, and the property is that accessing. And this is so important, that how we can access the register variable. So the register variable can be accessed within its opening and close curly braces. This is what we have studied in the local variables, that a local variable can be accessed within open and close curly braces, And here in the register, because register is using the properties of the local, therefore all the properties possessed by the local variable will be used in the register. So register is a storage specifier and it is using the properties of the local variable. So we can say that a local variable properties exist for the register, and because register can be used only with the local variable, therefore all the properties of the local variable is used with the register. And this is the one more and one most important property, that is accessing. And the accessing is should be within open and close curly braces. So let's look at the note and the point that is so important about it. Register are not addressable, and this is so important point. Registers are not addressable. This is so important point. So how we can differentiate it? How we can know this fact that I have declared a main function whose work is to do this all the things is. Now I have declared a main function whose return type is void. In that I have opened the curly braces here. Then I have declared num, because num is a what? Num is a variable of type int. Okay, or we can say it is a local variable. Num is the local variable of type int, and whose storage is specified is register. And we have studied about the register is that register can only be used with the local variable. Okay. Now after that I have used the printf function whose work is to display whatever here. Okay. Now what happening here is that what we have studied here is that register are not addressable. It means register has not address. But here I am printing the address, and this is not allowed because register are not addressable. Therefore, its address is not going to be placed here. So this is the register. So moving on the next thing, that is about the addressing property of the register, and we have studied that the registers are not addressable, and we have also studied that register can be only used with the local variable. Okay, register can only be used with the local variable, and in that, and this is the local variable, therefore register has been used here, and register will give all the properties, will access all the properties of this local variable. Okay, then after that I have used the printf function whose work is to print whatever is written here, and this is the address of num. So we have used the percentage %p, which is the format is specified for giving the address, and because register are not addressable, therefore it is not allowed here. So this is how the storage is specified, and its type has been completed now. So we have studied about the storage specifier and its type, and we have learned about the auto storage specifier, static storage specifier, external storage specifier, and registered storage specifier. So thanks for watching. Dhanyavad.